I see the flaws under Newsom's leaderships. We're the state with the slowest vaccine rollout, highest income tax, record highs of homelessness,
Right.
just to name
Right.
a few. We also don't want to forget the recall Gavin Newsom petition, which
Yeah.
breaking Friday reached those 1.5 million signatures. So I want to ask you, John, is California ready to have a Republican leading the charge again?
I think California is ready for change, Dana. I don't know where you moved from, but when you got here, you realized that the cost of living is stratospheric in the state. You can barely buy a house. You can barely afford rent. The cost of electricity and water is out of sight, if it's even available, because we don't have enough electrical power. We don't have enough water. We have homeless all across the streets because politicians like Gavin Newsom and Kevin Faulconer think that the best way to cure homelessness is to move them off the street into motels. Of course, that's just moving the problem one place to another. It's not solving it. You got to treat these people. So I think the people of California are ready, Dana. I think they're ready for solutions. I think they're ready for a businessman, not another career politician that's just going to mouth the words and just not do anything about the problems. I'm not doing this to get a job. I'm doing this to get change in this state. I love it here. My mom and her two sisters lived here most of their life. This is a wonderful, wonderful place to live if it was only managed better. And I think the voters of this state realize they don't have the leadership they need. And I'm going to be offering solutions that give people a better life. I think that's what they want.
Well, I hear that loud and clear over here at the desk. But John, so I want to make sure our viewers know this is your second campaign run for governor. I want to know, why do you think the odds are in your favor this time around compared to then in 2018?
Well, Dana, you weren't around in 2018 maybe, but I got more votes for governor than any governor in history that wasn't named Schwarzenegger. People got to know me a little bit. Obviously, I came out as a non-celebrity. I'm not a celebrity or a career politician. I'm a business person. So it took a little while for people to get to know me. I think we're going to build on the 5 million votes I got in 2018 and get known by the rest of California. I think that's doable. And I think people will get a certain comfort level and they'll hear what I'm talking about. I mean, in November, the voters of this state woke up a little bit. They turned down a huge tax increase. They removed restrictions on freelance workers. They voted down rent control and affirmative action and ending cash bail. They can see what's going on with this pandemic shutdown, Dana. I mean, their kids aren't in school or in their activities. Their small businesses are being crushed. I mean, I think they really have found that they can't live with this leadership that they've gotten. They're going to look for something better. And, I ran in 2018 on these same issues I'm talking about now that have only gotten worse. So I think people are finally ready to wake up and do something.
Yeah, you just dovetailed into my next question, which is getting kids back to school. It's recently dominating the headlines. I wanted to get your take on, what do you think the best path is moving forward?
We've got to get these kids back in school. I mean, the union bosses are flexing their political muscle with Gavin Newsom, and that's because they control him. He wants to run for president real soon, and he needs the teachers' union bosses in order to get that accomplished. But, he's doing that on the backs of the parents and the students who are kept out of school, kept out of their activities. And, Dana, they won't get this time back. It's gone forever. We're going to look at this and we're going to say, what damage did we do to our children by keeping them out of school this way? Well, union bosses put teachers ahead of Costco workers and grocery store clerks and healthcare workers and police and firemen. They all had to go to work. They didn't have vaccinations this whole last year, but they still went to work. We have got an obligation to our children to prepare them for the future. We've got an obligation to our economy to make sure it works for everybody and everybody has opportunity. And that's another reason I'm running, because I started with nothing and built a business. I mean, That's a story of America. That's a story of opportunity. That's a story that we have to make sure gets out there so that we can make sure that that opportunity exists for everybody in California. And it's not right now. And that's why this recall is going to be successful. And we're going to get this guy out and we're going to turn this state around.